Hi everybody, we are back with our frogs on Friday. My son Theo is here, it's his birthday, so we're gonna say happy birthday Theo. And he wanted to start by feeding the frogs. They haven't been fed yet today, so he's gonna go ahead and give them some food. You know what, just give him one. So I cleaned this frog's tank and I actually took out, every week we're supposed to take out half of the water and fill it with clean water. But today I actually took out almost 3/4 of his water and filled it with clean water, and it still looks a little foggy to me. So that's a clue to me that he's getting overfed a little bit. So we're just gonna give him one nugget. He's doing well in there, and I think he just, for whatever reason, maybe he doesn't have as big of an appetite. So that frog got one frog pellet of the food. This frog is gonna get 2. This was our froglet, but we're gonna take a close-up look of him today. He looks kind of like a frog to me, so we're gonna give him two frog pellets. And then we still have a tadpole over in this tank here. We'll take a close-up look of him today also, but we've got one tadpole, so he gets a different kind of food.
Which one?
This one?
Looks like sand.
It does look like sand, yeah. 1 level scoop of that. Yep. Sorry, can you reach?
Yeah.
Cool. And then when we're looking up close up with them, maybe we'll give them a little of the clap hands powder so we can see them move their hands. We're going to talk about their hands a little bit today. So I wanted to start, we had a question. Somebody emailed me a question. I was so happy. I love to hear from you guys. And we had a question, and somebody asked me about the froglet because I must have said in one of the videos that the froglet eats its tail. You guys, it does. It eats its tail. That's where it gets its nutrition from. So we don't have to feed the frogs when they're frog. So I'm going to get to that because that's what the question was too. Does it literally eat its tail? So we don't have to feed the frogs when they're froglets because they're getting their nutrition from their tail. But no, so if any of you have a dog at home, your dog might turn around and bite on its tail, right? That's not what our frog's doing. It's not literally taking bites out of its tail, but the tail, after the tadpole has back legs and front legs, the tail has all the nutrition that the froglet needs to grow for that period of time. So it doesn't turn around and bite on its tail and chew it up and eat it, but it absorbs its tail and the nutrients that are in it, and that's how it grows. So we might actually get to see that a little bit as this tadpole keeps growing. I'm gonna try to keep an eye on it because you kind of could see it with this guy, the one that just recently turned into a frog. So the tail kind of like crunches up and it looks like it's contracting. And at first I thought something, I was like, oh no, what's wrong with the frog? Because the tail doesn't look so good. But I'm pretty sure that's exactly what was happening. So it eventually will absorb and eat the nutrition that's in its tail. So that is kind of cool. And again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or email me. I will get back to you in one of these videos. And just like it would in the classroom, it kind of helps me guide the lesson a little bit. So feel free to reach out. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about today. It's Friday, we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna talk about some of my favorite things about frogs. One of my favorite things about frogs is something that you see in lots of animals, but they have a special kind of camouflaging. So it's really hard. I've been walking my dog around the park, Mohawk Park, around the pond there. And when we go out early in the morning, we can hear frogs. And we keep going right up to the edge because we're looking for frogs, but they're super hard to find. You've got to be really quiet and still, and my dog is not so quiet or still. So sometimes we see them jumping. Theo's there's a squirrel outside Theo's pointing to. On someone's roof. So we haven't seen the frogs yet, but we keep trying to see them. But one of the ways that they camouflage, it's something called counter shading. So this is one of our words for today is counter shading. And what that means is that frogs, like lots of animals, have their backs are dark and their bellies are white. So how could that help a frog stay camouflaged? Let's think about that for a minute. So if I'm a predator and I want to eat a frog, if I'm in the water and I'm underneath the frog and I look up I'm looking up. What am I looking at? I'm looking at the sky, right? Which is usually bright. So having a white or light colored belly, that helps them stay camouflaged. If I'm a predator in the water and I'm swimming on top of the frog or above the frog and I'm looking down, or even if I'm just a person at the edge of Mohawk Pond and I'm looking into the water, what color is the water? I know we like to draw water as blue in pictures, but when you really look into a pond, the water is kind of dark, right? So if the back or the top of the frog is dark, it won't be as easy for predators to see them from above. So that's kind of cool. And there are lots of animals that have counter shading. So think about it, guys. See if you can think of some other animals that use that kind of camouflage to protect themselves. One other really cool thing about our frogs that I wanted to talk about is that they have webbed feet. So this is one of our, yeah, they do. This is one of our, I'm gonna bring the camera over closer so you can see all these things in just a minute. So they have webbed feet. And what that means is that in between their fingers, we have fingers like this, right? Look at your fingers. They should look like this.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in between them, right? Nothing in between our digits. Well, frogs have skin that attaches their fingers, right? And that's the webbing. So not all frogs, but our frogs do. They have webbing. So this makes them great swimmers because I don't know if any of you guys swim or have taken swim lessons, but you scoop the water, right? When you're trying to swim, you close your fingers up like this. So having a solid surface like this, it gives you more resistance, and then our frogs can propel themselves forward. So they have webbed feet. They're really cool to look at. Not all frogs do. We do have tree frogs in New Jersey. We do not have tree frogs that look like this one, but we do have tree frogs. And tree frogs, they don't have webbed feet, right? You can see their toes.
Swim in water, they live in trees.
So they don't swim, they are not aquatic frogs, right? They live in trees. They do lay their eggs in water. They are amphibians, but they are tree frogs and they live in trees. And they have toes like this, and on their toes they actually have sticky little pads, and that helps them stick to the trees. So some frogs have webbed feet, some frogs don't. Some frogs have sticky pads, and some don't. And then one other word I wanted to introduce you guys to today, and this is one of my favorite things about frogs, guys. I'm going to show you this word. It's called chorus, okay? So a chorus can be like when lots of people sing together or when lots of frogs sing together. Every frog has a unique call, and I've listened to lots of different frog calls in New Jersey, and I haven't yet heard one that actually says ribbit, ribbit. Frogs say lots and lots of different things. Their mating calls are unique to their species. So a boy frog will go down to a pond when it's mating season, and he will make his mating call. He will call, and the girl frogs, they'll be like, hey, I kind of like that sound. I'm going to go down to the pond or the vernal pool, and I'm going to lay my eggs. So different frogs are in the ponds at different times of the year, and they all have unique sounds. So we're actually going to take a listen to that for just a minute. I have a really cool quick video that I'm going to show you where you can listen to the different calls of different frogs and what they would sound like over like a spring and early summer season. So, yes.
Is this
I think Theo has a question.
I don't know, but I might have learned it at Autobahn. Do like webbed feet frogs do some? Is it like it might be the other way around? But do males have like bumps, and the females have like that, or is it the other way around?
Like convex and concave? I'm not sure about that, but that's a great question, and we can look into it. We might have learned that at camp. So I have a video for you guys here, and it is called Northwoods Frog Call Phonology. So you can see, so as it plays, first you're gonna hear the wood frog, the chorus frog, and the spring peeper. They all start in mid-March. And then as the sound goes on, the northern leopard frog is going to join them. And as the season goes on, you're going to hear the American toad, the gray tree frog, and then as spring and summer go on, you're gonna hear the green frog and the American bullfrog. And it is really cool to hear all the different sounds that they can make. So Miss Amy is not gonna sing today, but we are going to listen to the chorus of the frogs.
If you were to sing, it might be hard because we
Did you guys hear that? I really like that one. So maybe we'll just listen to it one more time. Whoops. Maybe I won't. So I just lost that for a second. Well, that's okay. Yeah, I lost it. It's okay. That's okay. But that...
You exited all my tabs out.
All right. So Miss Amy lost that frog call, but that was the frog call. I really liked that one, so I hope you guys liked that too.
Do it again.
I'm going to take the camera off and we're gonna zoom in. Theo's gonna see if he can bring that up again, but we're gonna zoom in a little closer on our frogs to see how they are doing.
Found it.
Okay, we'll play it again in a minute, okay? Let me move this out of the way. Here is our tadpole. Look at how he's doing. Can you just hold it? We'll play it again in a little bit, but please pause it for now. So you guys, I've been watching him. I'm so excited to see his front legs emerge from his body. We still have back legs on him. Are you seeing the front legs yet? I thought this morning that maybe I could see something that looked like them starting, but now I'm looking at him. I don't see it yet. Do you guys see front legs? I definitely see his back legs. I see his tail swishing. I see he looks like he's eating some things or drinking. But he is definitely still a tadpole with back legs. We're gonna keep watching him and hopefully his front legs will start to appear. Oops. So over here, we've got, this is our newest, so this was the froglet, who is now a frog. I'm gonna go up above because this frog is tiny. So our frogs can vary in size quite a bit. And this one, while I think it is a full frog, he's tiny. He or she, we don't know yet. You can see maybe just a teeny, tiny little stump of a tail left back there. But this is our newest frog. So the tail that it did have has been fully absorbed. He's gotten all of the nutrition from that. Sometimes they start swimming if you just move them very gently. Now I'd like to give you guys something to see, so let me see. Oh, he's in better light there. You can just see tiny little bit of his tail left. Here he comes. There he is. Yeah, they're great swimmers. And I don't know how well you can see it on this one, if you can see his webbed feet, but we're gonna take a look. The other two frogs we have are bigger. It might be easier to see. Maybe you can see it on this one. Let's put the lid back on there. They do come up to the surface and they are quite jumpy. Here we go. On this frog, can you see the webbing between his toes? Oh, he kicks up a lot of stuff when he swims away. Let's see if he'll come. Oh, he's coming back. You can see the webbing between his toes. Okay, looks a little, he just kicked up a lot of stuff, so it looks a little foggy in there. But can you see how much bigger he is than the other one? I wish I could get them side by side for you. And I think next time I'm gonna change even more of their water because it seems like it's getting maybe a little too. Ooh, just had a, he keeps swimming away from me. Every time I move the tank, he swims to the back. Maybe I need to get up and move to the back. That might help him. He's kicked up a lot of stuff. So this frog, teeny tiny, right? This one is a lot bigger. I'm gonna wait for his tank to settle down. Let's take a look at our last frog over here. He's in there too. He's down there. And these frogs, guys, I don't know. So the males can sing, and I guess they do not start singing until they are 8 months old. I have not heard any singing yet. Oh, that's kind of a good shot of his webbed feet, if you can see it. I've not heard any singing yet. I honestly don't know how old they are. So I don't even know, like, if the adult that we got is that old yet and if he would be singing. So I'll let you know if we hear anything. He's eating. See him clapping his hands? Yeah, I'm gonna give them some more clean water. I'm not even gonna wait a week. So there's one. And oh, I want to show you the counter shading, right? Let's come back to this one because he's the clearest. You see how, let's go up to the top. From the top, he is dark, excuse me, and kind of pond colored. Like if you were looking at him from above, he would be hard to see. Let's see if we can get him to swim to the top. So you can see his light underbelly. Hello. Oh. Let me know if you can think of any other animals that have counter shading like this. How am I going to show you his belly? He's not swimming. Oh, here we go. This guy's cooperating. Look at his light underbelly. Look at that. So if you were an animal below him looking up, he would almost blend into the sky and look like the sky. Oh, look at him. There he is. With his webbed feet, his white belly. I almost can't move the camera fast enough to keep up with him. It's very cute. So this guy's swimming. He's talking to the tadpole next door. Super cute. They just kind of float, he floats up on the current. Maybe we will get to see his belly after all. There he goes. Okay. So, Miss Amy is going to read a story. Let's get the camera back up. You can see all the stuff I hide under the table so I can get ready up here. I think the camera has trouble focusing on the frogs, so then my, there we go, we're back in focus. Okay. I am going to read this story called In the Pond. Okay? In the Pond by Anna Milbourne. Down at the pond on a bright spring day, 2 swans glide gracefully along, and ducks turn tail up, dabbling for pondweed. Lots of little jelly eggs are floating in the water. The eggs have tiny blobs inside. What will they become? As the days drift by, the blobs start to grow. They get bigger and bigger. Look who's looking at them. Each one becomes a tadpole. The tadpoles wriggle out of their eggs and squiggle swim away. As the last little tadpole shivers free, a huge dark shadow looms above. Suddenly, an enormous fish swishes down. Its toothy jaws gape open. Snap! The little tadpole wriggles away just in time. The days grow warmer still, and spring slips into summer. Shimmering dragonflies dart around, and a pond skater tiptoes carefully across the water. Over in the reeds, there's a peep, peep, peep. One by one, 6 fluffy ducklings plop into the pond. They paddle in a bobbing line behind the mother duck. Some stop to stare at the butterflies, then rush to catch back up. Under the water, the tadpole is changing. He grows tiny legs in the back and in the front. You see that? His wriggly tail shrinks and shrinks. And we know why it's doing that, right? He's absorbing the nutrition from his tail. Then, before you know it, he's turned into a frog. Hop, hop, hopping around, exploring the sunlit pond. A teeny tiny fly flies by. Quick as a flash, the hungry frog rolls out his sticky tongue. Gulp. What's sticking out of his mouth? You see the little wings of the fly? With a hop and a splash, he dives back into the cool water. Kicking his wide-webbed froggy feet, he quickly swims away. If you come back to the pond one bright spring day, you might find lots more jelly eggs and the frog all grown up, singing a croaky song. And that's the end. Do you guys remember the big word for what we call when the frogs change? So they change from eggs to tadpoles to froglets and then frogs. Those are the stages of their life cycle. But does anyone remember that big word? It starts with an M, what we call it. Oh, I don't think I have to adjust it too much. That works. What we call it when that happens, when they actually change form, and that's called metamorphosis. So that was on our word wall. That was one of the first words we talked about. I'm gonna let you guys watch the frogs for a little bit. Theo did find the video that I lost again. Let me see if I can bring it up so you can listen to the frog songs again, the frog chorus. See if you can hear the different frogs in this. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys watch the frogs for a few minutes. See what they're doing. They're kind of active. You can see their counter shading. Now that they're all lined up side by side, maybe you can get a better sense of how the frog in the second tank down here is much smaller than the frog next to him. And our tadpole on the end. Right now seems pretty big. It's going to be interesting to see how he changes over the next couple of weeks. Hey guys, thanks for joining us again today. We will be back with another video on Tuesday. We are trying to resolve our live issues. We'd love to be able to go live again, and hopefully we'll have that worked out soon, but if not, we will send you another video by email. Have a great weekend.